Welcome to this lesson on two function words, SUMIF, COUNTIF. If you're familiar with the count and the sum functions in Excel, then you're kind of almost halfway there with these two function words. What they do is they perform a similar task to what their counterparts do. The sum, the auto sum, adds up a block of numbers. What you can do is to include criteria in the SUMIF. That way you can ask it to add up a block of numbers, but only those numbers that are higher than 20 in value. So let's take a look at these on this demonstration sheet. We got a list of people, what departments they work for, and how many units they've sold. Down the bottom here, we want to summarize this information. Number of salespeople that work in each of the departments A, B and C. Also, how many units they sold per department A, B and C. So the first thing we do is on this column here, we want to know the number of salespeople that work in a department. We're going to use the count function to count the number of people. And we're going to use a piece of criteria that says, can you only count those people in department A, B or C? So let's start with the first one. Clicking down here, the number of salespeople in department A. So what we do here is we type equals COUNTIF, all one word, open bracket. Remember to look at the bubble help. You'll see that we've got two attributes that are required, the range and the criteria. First of all, the range. It's asking, well, where should I look? Well, we want it to look in this area here, all of the departments. Now, because I want to think ahead here and copy this formula down for B and C as well to save having to type them individually, I'm going to hit the F4 key, the function 4 key. That will put on the absolute dollar signs to stop that range from moving. If you need more information on relative and absolute formulas, then look back on one of our previous videos in the beginners lesson. Comma. It's now asking the criteria. What am I going to be looking for in that range that you've highlighted? And we want it to be looking and counting if it comes across the letter A for department A. Now we could type this in here. If we do type it, we do need to surround it in speech marks like that. But of course, thinking ahead, I do want to copy this formula down 2 rows for the other 2 departments. If I type in the letter A, I will have to go in and edit the other 2 formulas to put B and C. So it'd be much easier for me to pick up the letter from here, from this cell. I'm not going to lock it because I do want this to come down with me. In other words, keep it relative as I pull this down. That's all we need to do on the COUNTIF. If we enter that, you'll see immediately it tells me I've got 4 people working in department A. If I now copy that down, you can see immediately I've got the stats for how many personnel work in each department. Now we can do a similar thing with the SUMIF. We want to sum up how many units are sold by department A and put it down here. Now if we type the SUMIF function, so that's equals SUMIF open bracket. Now look at the attributes. On this one we got 3 parts to it. We got the range, the criteria, and the sum range. What it's asking for is first of all the range where we need to look for the criteria. Now, because we're going to be looking for department A, B or C, then the range I want is this list of cells here. Now again, I want to lock this, so I'm going to hit the F4 key to lock that, comma. Now it's asking for the criteria. What am I looking for in that department column? Well, I want to find department A, comma, and then the sum range. In other words, where's the range of numbers you want me to sum up? Well, that's going to be here. And again, I'm going to hit the F4 key to lock that range as well. What will happen is when we enter this, it will only add up where it sees a unit sold belongs to department A. So it'll add up this 10 here, this 12, this 15 and this 21. When we enter that, it gives us our 58. We can then copy this down to give us the totals for this one. And that is SUMIF and COUNTIF.